In this video, I will be showing you how to make an AT sliding damper. Booyah, baby. Is that a brand new chassis? And yes, it is about to be destroyed. Where we're going, we won't be needing this anymore. Also, before we start, be careful with your tools. These are dangerous. So in order to build this, we're going to need a wide front sliding damper. You can actually use the rear. Chances are we'll probably only use this part and I guess the spring. We need a rear brake stay. We're using FRP because these carbon ones they're about $30 now. And you can see this one is about $3. So it's up to you. The carbon's gonna last longer, it's gonna be a little lighter. FRP is easier to work with, but it is much cheaper than the carbon. Same with this. We have the rear multi-roller setting stay. This one's only $264. You can also use something like this, the carbon one. Again, it's just a price thing. I think if you can get this at retail, it's not too bad. A little more expensive, so $980 versus $300. But I see these online for about $15 or something like that. Maybe 15 to 20, depending on which one it is. This one's especially sought after. And then for the actual sliding damper itself, you can use this metal one. Again, it's a little heavier. And these are also, this one is new and you can get it relatively easy right now. This is the older one. This is the 40th anniversary one. So I haven't 100% decided which of these I'm going to use. But I probably will use at least one of these. This is worth the upgrade price if you can find it for retail. We will also be needing some grease. So this is for the sliding damper, $352, and this is going to last you quite a while, so it's worth the investment in my opinion. And then from a roller, you're gonna need this little pipe that comes inside, that goes in the tube here. And then we're gonna use these two. These are for some of the cars they come with on the bearing, and this goes into the bearing. You can also use these, or these are also for the rollers for your stock car. So everyone probably just has these sitting around. And you can buy packs of just these for like, I think $1 or something. I was thinking about using these two, but I'm probably not going to because this has the stopper at the top. It's not really needed. You're also going to need some tools. So a lot of the times I don't show videos where you need to cut. So all of these we're going to need to, well, this one we don't have to, but there's one spot we might need clippers or nippers. But we're going to have to cut these. I didn't really want to do a whole lot of super customizing. So like most of my builds on here, none of these are actually cut. There's countersunk screws, but everything else is quite stuck. I figured this is for another video, and I wanted to make that car a little different than I usually do. So I figured I would show how to make the AT sliding damper. So this one has the double pivot instead of, you can do it with a single pivot, but I think the double pivot is a little more stable in my opinion. So let's get this stuff out and let's get started. So before we cut, we need to figure out where we need to cut. This one, you just need to clip this off the runner. But these two pieces we do have to cut up. So you're gonna need a ruler and then something to mark it with. It can be a pen, it can be a marker. If you use black on black, it's gonna be difficult to see. I will be using a white marker just so it's easy for you to see in the video. So we're just gonna measure it out. So I'll measure it out and I will put lines on where to cut, and then I'll show you so you can just take a screenshot and see where to cut exactly for these two pieces. So for the rear brake stay, this is where we're going to be cutting all of these white parts. We got one on the side, one over here. As long as you don't get into these holes, it doesn't have to be exact on either side. When you cut, you're not going to be perfect anyways. And then these little two holes at the bottom are also going to be cut. You don't have to mark up the whole thing, you just have to have like a line. I like to gauge by this right here. So just go up straight from this little part right there, and then this you just chop off the bottom one. And for this one, we take off these top two, and then at an angle, kind of like this. You can use this as like an image, a line, and just cut across like that. But don't get into the holes. Do the same thing on this side as well. A pretty rough estimate is okay. But yeah, don't get too close to the holes and don't actually cut the holes. And then these two bottom ones here, right at the top of this, we're just gonna cut that off there. Okay, so for illustration purposes, the white part, that is all going to be going away. If you want, you can take a screenshot just to see exactly where you, not exactly, but about where you're gonna cut it. And we'll be cutting this. I have a drill bit. It's like a circle saw. You can use a hand saw, whatever fits your needs. This FRP, I've heard it's not very good for your health, as you could imagine. So if you got the particles flying up, use somewhere that's well ventilated or do it outside. Hand saw probably won't bring as much dust that you would suck in. So I'm gonna do this outside. So you're gonna end up with something like this. They're actually making a carbon plate, I think, that is this shape. I think, I've heard. And then this. So we got a bunch of rough edges from cutting it. What we're gonna do is sand those down. And there we have it. I just use this sanding file. I don't even know where it's from. It's just regular sanding file, nothing special. And if you were interested in what I used to cut, you can use a little diamond circle saw. And even with the Tamiya drill, it takes a little longer, but it works just fine. You can also just use like one of these bad boys. These craft saws or hand saw. It's just up to you. Sometimes I'll use this because it's so weak and I'm afraid it's gonna catch at the end. Sometimes I'll get it almost all the way down and then I'll take the hand saw and finish it off. All right, so next up we're gonna need the drill again. We're gonna take this 3mm drill bit and then this countersinking drill bit as well, because we're gonna countersink, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. So for the countersinking, we're gonna countersink this screw hole here and this screw hole here. And for this one, it's gonna be the 4 corners, so outside, outside, and then on the bottom as well. There we go. So here, here, and then, so bottom and top, the furthest points. I'll tell you what though, countersinking FRP compared to carbon is way less stressful. All right, and I forgot this doesn't take the 3mm, I don't think. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Oh boy. All right, so we're gonna do it the fun way. We just do the 2.5, and this is actually probably the recommended way for performance, but it's not an exact science. So on this hole at the bottom, underneath the countersunk one, so we still have one kind of where this block is on the bottom. We're gonna make that bigger. If I could, hold on. Okay. So we're gonna make this bigger. And I don't know why that's not going. That one went too far down. Ah, nightmare. If that does happen to you, you can take off the bit and then twist it down and pop it out. And to make this just a little bit bigger, what we're going to do is kind of angle and just do a quick burst. Because we don't want to make it too big, but we need it to be big enough so that where'd they go? So that this will go through. And you want it to be a little bit loose. So like right now, it doesn't go through at all. So we need a little bit more room. Because this is kind of gonna sit on top of that. So you can just angle it, different angles, use the side. And you can see that's already bigger than that. And yeah, we need a little bit more. So make sure you don't get too close to the sides here. And just keep getting a little more each time. Or use a bigger bit. This is the best way actually, because you can get the little minute. And this is going to be flopping like this. So if you can get it so it's kind of angled like this, it actually works even better. All right, so just slow and steady. You can always take a little bit more out, but you can't put a little more back in. Something you always want to remember when building things like this and cutting these pieces. So you can see it's still not big enough, so go at it a little bit more. All right, so this is about a good one. A good way to judge is that you can just set it on the side and it pretty much just falls through. That is, yeah, it makes a quite good hole size. It's hard to explain, but yeah, so it should look like something like this. And we'll need the top for the sliding damper, which is the one with the little notch and the 2 circles on top. We'll cut that out. And there we go. So you do get 2 springs in this set. The springs go right here. So this goes on top, and then the spring goes in this little hole, like so. And we'll sit flatter like that. And that will allow it to slide. This spring, the black spring, is a little bit stronger than the other one. It's up to you which one to use. There's no right or wrong for this one. And if you want to use just this metal plate, it's totally fine. I, on the other hand, am going to use the carbon one. Okay, so before anyone asks, if you're going to be using this metal plate, just use this. Don't go out and buy this, the HD sliding damper grease. You don't need it. But I'm going to be using the carbon, so I'm going to use the HD. And if you were wondering how I knew the price, even with no sticker, this star 400, it means it's 400 Japanese yen. I would just round that into $4 USD. All right, so for assembly, we're going to use the stronger one, which is the silver one. And just put that in. So just like this one, the aluminum, exact same. And this is gonna go on top. So to get this slidey slide, you're gonna take your grease and all over top and the bottom, where it's going to make contact with the plastic and then with the plates as well. So this is how we're going to get that slide, like that. So I use the hard one. I think it's always better to err on caution. But if it's too stiff, what you can do is you just clean that up and then you put on the soft one, or just go with the generic, which is, I'd say, yeah, it's on the softer side. Okay, so we got our lube stick in my hand. We got our sliding dipper ready, and these two countersunk screws, you can see there's a hole there, and there should be one on the other side. And that's where we take our countersunk screw, where we put the countersunk right there, and put those up through the bottom, like so. So it should come out that hole with the ring around it on the top. Assuming everything is measured properly, like so. And then we need big washer, and a screw. So for right now, you would ideally use a lock nut, but I don't want to go find, and I'm not sure I'm going to use this length. I might use one a little shorter for this, but it's just going to be a placeholder for now. Either way, you're going to want a countersunk screw, a washer, and then a nut to go over the top. And the reason I don't do it with, the reason I don't do it with the lock nut now, because if I'm not sure about this, is the more you use a lock nut, the less locky nutty it becomes. So the strength of it goes away because there's a little piece of, it's like rubber or plastic, I can't remember, that holds it into place, and when you use that too much, it just keeps on getting looser and looser. All right, so for now, we're just gonna use a regular old nut. And then we got that all together. We got our big holes down here, and that is where the spring is gonna go. And then you can see, One thing to be careful with this too is you don't want to screw these too tight because it's going to make it harder for it to slide. All right, and next we're going to take our rear plate, countersunk screw, put that up through. This one is really long, it doesn't need to be that long. And this is going to go through the countersunk on the bottom, and then you're going to put that over the top. And piping, you can put the piping on first. You can use like the rubber as well. That works just fine. And let those sit down there. And you can use these, you can use another pipe, and use these on top if you want. You don't need the topper. I think it's just an easy way to, this way is easy so you can have a point to where your nut is going to stop. And we're going to use these black springs. So some people prefer the rubber on the back so they don't get the gold, so everything's all black and looks sleek. Again, that part is up to you and how you want it to look. But for demonstration purposes, this is easier to understand, I think. And then 2 nuts go on top. I wonder if these are even big enough to hold that down. Hold on. I think for now it should be I'm gonna get a washer just for demonstration. Because these are 4.0 and lock nuts are actually 4.5 millimeters. So with everything locked down, it will look like this. These will be shorter, these will be this size. Again, I'm saying just for demonstration, but like that. Let's see if we can get it in focus. And essentially this will be what connects to your car, and then when you go around like a turn, it will pivot like that. So you got a 2-point pivot bumper. It's hard to do without it connected to something where you're just holding it, especially to get it into, but this is the gist. I can get on this side. So when the thought process behind this is when you come down maybe on to a jump or something and it hits the side, it'll give out a little bit and help it kind of slide back in. I'm not sure, might need to, so this is another reason why we put it together. First is probably have to make this hole just a slightly bit bigger to get that to be a little bit smoother over here. But you can see on the left side, it is quite smooth as is. And this one catches a little bit. That is also because there's 2 of those. You can get around that with putting the piping on there. And then it's a little bit smoother because you don't have 2 parts where there's a place for it to catch. Alright, so that is it for the construction of the 2-point pivot bumper, sliding damper. That's what it's called. So you got the slide from side to side, you got the up and down movement on where the rollers are too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this hole a tiny bit bigger. We're gonna get screws that fit it a little bit better, and then I'll put it on a car so you can see how it is, and I will go over everything that we did, and hopefully you can just take a screenshot if you need. And yeah, so this will be the final product once everything is locked down. Alright, so I was suggested that I should do a final assembly with everything just separate. So let's do that really quickly. So we're going to take our cut rear brake stay, and then we're going to line up that with the slide-in damper, so where the countersunk screws are. I'm going to take our longer screw, put that through, on both sides, and then we're going to take a washer, big washer, and then our luck nut. I'm going to use blue for this. You'll see why in a few videos, I believe. There's a hint in the background. Alright, so I'll just get these started and then I'll lock them down completely. So again, you can use this slider. It's totally fine. It's going to save you about 10 bucks. So there we go, all locked down. Slider. Next up, get your rear brake plate, a flat one, and the front countersunk screws. You can put the piping down now, or you can lay the pipe later. Either way, it'll be happy. And then put that over the top where those 2 bigger holes are that you made, and then that over the top. Springs. And then tighten these down. And there we have it. Our AT bumper is what they call it. So this is the AT sliding damper. And yeah, I think with the blue it looks super cool, and it's gonna look amazing on this car I got coming up. So be ready for that. And we'll do another once over the parts. So we have the rear that we cut down on the sides, and we cut off the bottom part. We have the other rear brake stay that we cut. We can't really see now. Sliding, damper. This one is the carbon plated. Got lock nuts, we got the piping, and then springs, and there we go. It's really difficult to show how this actually works, but yeah, baby. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. If you would like to see more, we're gonna do a whole car with these parts that I'm gonna show in these segments. But because they do take a lot of time and you have to cut a bunch of stuff, I'm separating them into each individual videos. So if you'd like to see the other ones, subscribe. And if you're still here, you're probably asking yourself, what did cutting that off have to do with the video? And this is exactly that. So the MAS chassis, when you cut this part off the front bumper, so this is the bumperless version, which you can see in the video before this. Just go check it out on the channel. And then this connects right here. So I'll screw that down just to show you a little bit of the movement. It's not focusing. There we go. This is what we have spent this whole arts and crafts period trying to complete. All right, so yeah, you got the nice flex on both sides. I like the double instead of the single pivot. You can do one in the middle, but it's like, it feels really flimsy, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but some people swear by it. It's just preference. Most of this is all just preference. So yeah, we'll do the back bumper as well. We'll do the whole body, so we're gonna do the, like, I think it's called lantern style. I don't know, that's what they call it in Japanese. Where the body is the damper. And yeah, let's see how it goes. So if you'd like to see that, subscribe, and we'll be back for more. Thanks.